Hello everyone and welcome to another video with me, Umber Rays, and yeah, as to everyone on the global side, sorry, sometimes you just start recording a video and then you got a cough. Anyway, happy new banner day to everybody on global. I know that a lot of people were pretty interested in Banner. I've been watching the Discord go a little bit nuts, and I can't wait to hear all the people who are I'm quitting the game because I didn't get her, even though there will be other banners later, and you probably should have just done one or two pulls on the initial banner, but hey, you guys do you. But anyway, as I bump my table, let's get on with talking about JP, because JP got version 2.2 and also got a couple of new characters, and I want to go over all of that because there is some really neat stuff here and some quality of life stuff that a lot of people are going to like, and actually some quality of life stuff that I think people are not going to like. Alright, so let's start off with the banners. First of all, the JP banners, this time we have something special, which is the summer multi-polls. Yeah, every day you'll be getting some amount of tickets to do multi-polls on this kind of summer banner, and once you get up to the fully maxed on your 11th poll, you can get a guaranteed UR. Woo! It should be noted that this is not like a full 10 unit summon thing. 9 of them are items, and they can include UR orbs, for example, or high tier items like that. And there's only one in the poll that is an actual character or card. So if you were thinking, oh, I'm just going to get every... No, that's not quite how this works. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know. I don't really know how to feel about this yet. I've only done a couple of multi-polls, and they didn't really, like... oh, they didn't wow me. Not this one, anyway. So yeah, overall, I'm not, excuse me, particularly enthused about this, but it's free, and you just get it for playing, so it's fine. Looking at the other banner, the Wasa Banner. The Wasa Banner, I've heard that some of my guildmates have actually done this banner, and each time you do a multi-poll, that you get like 20% on it. When you get to the max, you get a bonus, but it appears that the bonus is gil, or possibly a unit, so really not sure how quite well I feel about that. There's also a triple paid step up, and this is pretty standard by now, but you know, you get your each step you get a UR plus a few other things, so it's not a bad one. The overall units that you can get on here are obviously Luasa, Frederica, Lucia, or last but not least, Adira, and I gotta say, 3 of those options are particularly good. I'm going to discount Frederica a little bit because she just hasn't quite been performing quite as nice as I want her to lately, but Adira and Luasa are probably pretty good rolls on this, so if you're really interested, I guess you could go for that. And there is a cheaper step up where you have a chance of getting some specific things to help with the current content. But overall, I'm not particularly, again, I'm just not feeling overly positive about any of this. So yeah, most of the banners I'm considering just no. So now let's talk about the new units really quickly, starting off with Titus, or Titus, Hijab Paladin. A lot of HP passives, and interestingly enough, this guy, when you look at his resistance, is super duper weak to slash type, as well as what is it? It's slash, and there's one other thing. Oh yeah, magic. And what's the problem with that, you may ask? Well, there's a lot of slash and magic units in the current meta. There are a ton of people who have developed these kind of units, so this unit not particularly looking incredibly great to begin with. And for anybody who's, I do remember that somebody did message me and say, hey, can you talk about initial AP on units? And I've tried to get an answer before recording this video, and nobody I know has this character yet, and he's not up on the WOTV calculator. So I'll try and make a note about him in a future video for you. But as it stands right now, my assumption is that he is the AP the 50% AP, but I cannot confirm. What I do know for sure is that his master ability is Pierce and Shooting Resistance plus an extra 10. That's really the type of tank he is. He's good against piercing, and he's also good against shooting. That's his wheelhouse, I guess. He also has, on his master ability, though, an AP consumption of down by 25%. So there's a little bit of AP savings there with a potential attract blade that could end up meaning that he's a decent enough tank. He also has on his job board his 4-star awakening ability is an extra 15% HP, which is pretty good for a tank. Overall, really undecided about how good this unit actually is. I'm putting him as a big if, but I will say that his TMR is super noteworthy. Super noteworthy because it is a sword. 310 HP is a good amount. Attack is only 62, but as you can see, it does have a feature that's particularly nice on it, 10 defense, which given that defense stacking, or stat stacking, it's not just that, it's also fun to say. But, this is just a particularly really nice piece of TMR to get for any tank in the game, I feel like, because that extra defense just could end up being the difference between living and dying, and there is some more difficult content coming, so this guy might be just TMR fodder, but the TMR is pretty darn nice. It also has an ability on it of shooting damage down, so pretty nice defensive little sword. Also gotta say, I still really like his design. It's a cool looking shield he's got in the model. Now let's talk about a new unit, Luasa, and let's take a look at her limit burst because we haven't seen it yet. What a limit burst! I do believe that this is partially because of Corona. They're kind of behind, and we've seen this on Brave Exvius as well, where the limit bursts have the CG limit bursts in that game have also been behind, but kind of interesting. I guess we'll wait and see what hers looks like later. Initial thoughts about Luasa, really quickly. She has a lot of passives for shooting damage up from both of her gunner jobs. Not only that, she does have quickness up and defense penetration, which is probably what you're going to always be running on her. She also has range +2 and evasion rate down. Because of the soldier, she does have the greatly increased attack by 60% by sacrificing some of her total resistance down by 8%. So yeah, kind of just exactly what I thought it was going to be. Her master ability is also 10% attack with an ice attribute killer on her. So yeah, she is the, wow, I'm just going to murder ice things. She is 100% an Agrius tank killer in multiplayer, and just an ice killer. Like, I don't know if she's going to have a huge amount of use outside of that very, very, very specific goal of just being like, I kill ice units. That's my job. Yay! Anyway, regardless, I think that from initial impressions of her, like, she doesn't have any solution to the range issues outside of her soldier, but soldier does mean that she does have some options if enemies get too close, and it shouldn't be underappreciated how good a fire UR is that is not limited. So, you know, besides Rain, Rain is a very magical character, so this being a physical character is particularly just pretty nice. Yeah, like overall, my evaluation of her is kind of weird. I feel like height is going to be a really big issue for her, but agility looks decent enough. HP is a little low. Attack is pretty nice and high. Quickness is good. Yeah, I think I like her pretty well, but also doesn't have a ton of movement, so you're going to be really wanting... I feel like looking just at her kit, there's so many conflicting ways of how I want to build her. You obviously want to run that defense penetration and you want range because she has no movement passives, but you also kind of just want to run specifically the that attack up to get like a massive amount of damage out of her, because it feels like that's what she is, a really high damage dealer. I quite don't know how much I like Luasa, but one thing that is particularly interesting is her TMR. It's a weapon. Now, if you've looked at basically any TMR in the game from a UR-based character, hey, guess what? They're almost all, they all are, up until this point, basically armor or accessories, and finally we have a UR that is coming with a weapon. 167 attack, 167 HP, 150 attack, 15 aim, 7 critical, and also has a chance of, I do believe, stun. Interesting. No ability on it either. This is super hard to evaluate in terms of TMR, because it basically is everything you want in a gun. It even has a nice little status effect on it, and it has 150 attack and some HP, but in terms of against crafting materials, don't know exactly how much I like it. This is a big puzzler about whether or not I like this banner even a little bit. Luasa's not bad. I think she'll be really good offensively, especially against the number of ice units that are in the game and the fact that she does have range. But height will be an issue for her, and she has a lot of conflicting passives. Not that those passives are bad, but trying to determine which one is just going to be really optimal, hard to say. Maybe she's just an up-close gunner. Maybe? Haven't really seen that. Alright, now taking a look at a few other things that have been added. This is something that I think I really need to show off, because a lot of people on global side constantly ask me, hey, is there story missions that ever get those pink materials for job 13 to 15? And the answer is no. But, and people hated the JP side, or the pink material farming system. Yeah, I know some people say it's red. It's pink. Anyway, now on the JP side, they have split it up. So what you are looking at is you're going to be basically looking at more specific missions for specific job mats. The pool essentially went from one giant, massive pool into being 3 smaller pools. Is it everything you ever hoped for and more? No, it's still quite a difficult thing, I think, to get it's still pretty random, but the fact that, and the stamina cost is still 30 apiece, but at least the pools are slightly getting narrowed down, and this will probably happen again not too far in the future. So yeah, it's good that this is getting done, and also the rewards also got refreshed for each of these too, which is pretty nice, because it just means, hey, guess what? You can farm it up. Anyway, so yeah, I think that is pretty well nice, and as you can see, the yellow mats also have been split up too, so it makes it a little bit easier if you are looking for a specific thing. And again, here you got the nice little bit of extra lapis rewards. I know it's not much, but hey, some days every little bit counts. Continuing on the stuff that has been added, 2 new things have been specifically added for challenges, and oh my god, are they getting challenging. The Fenrir Fight. Now, Fenrir is specifically weak to magic, fire, and shooting. It is a challenge built kind of basically for the new unit, and this isn't a surprise, it's how we have seen it, but it is, even at level 60, pretty damn tough for the AI. The terrain is pretty nasty for tanks, and Fenrir himself has some pretty strong AoEs that will decimate wind units and decimate a lot of other units too. And I haven't even tried the level 80 yet. There's also the Extreme Challenge number 2, which at level 60, this is the map where you start up on a mountain and it has a lot of height difference, meaning that there are specifically like good gunner and height ignoring units for this map, and the enemies are earth and lightning, which kind of works against some characters such as Adira, and who is particularly good for this map, but is particularly good for someone like Lucia. So, you know, ups and downs kind of thing. The last thing to really talk about is the change to AI. There's a couple of changes to AI as well as the mechanics of the game. AIs with barriers and their priorities for casting barriers has changed a little bit. Barriers will also be allowed to have overlapping now. So before, if you had a physical barrier and you started to use a magical barrier, the magical barrier would replace the physical one. Now they will actually overlap. This is really good for defensive units, but it probably will mean that enemies are going to be a little bit tougher in terms of damage, given that there could be the expectation of running these barriers. So there you go. Also, regarding the priority of abilities, the parts of abilities that are used with high hit rate until now have been changed. It is a scene, or it is where the situation now where with range attacks, the priority will be on aiming higher. Basically, like it's going to target specific units a little bit differently now in terms of how the AI reacts to accuracy. And so, yeah, you're on the JP side, we're already noticing quite a bit of difference in terms of some of the AI, and I'm not entirely sure or convinced that it isn't, that some of the AI hasn't been broken a little bit, as tanks such as Warrior of Light are already ignoring specific enemies such as bosses and going after mobs, which isn't working out well to everybody. So yeah, that's kind of a brief overview of version 2.2 as well as the banners. Really undecided about how I feel about Luasa, the step-up banners, and anything in between. The free stuff is nice, as per always, but really I think the all-star in terms of this update is not necessarily even the challenge maps, because a lot of JP players are looking for a little bit of a break after the raid / FF14 event / Howlet event, where there was just so many things to farm. This is pretty nice to take a step back. Oh yeah, I guess I can also show the piece of equipment from Fenrir real quick. For me, the all-star from this entire thing is 100% the fact that we just get better pink material farming, which is starting to become more essential as more difficult content is rolled out. And so yeah, this is the Fenrir equipment. I got an aim piece of equipment, as you can see, 15 aim, 20 dexterity, 14 attack, and I've heard that there's a defense version with about, I think it's like 12 or 14 defense. Nice piece of equipment, but is it worth breaking your butt over? Don't know yet. Gotta wait and see the bonus thing, because the Fenrir map is kind of... Anyway, so yeah, hope you're excited about some of these upgrades. Global players, they are coming to you in the near-ish future. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next time on stream, when I'll probably be trying to fight some of these incredibly difficult missions. So I'm sure it will go smoothly. Thanks for watching. Take care.